Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting of December 16th. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast by local access programming and with remote participation available as provided on our agenda. Is there anyone here who is recording the meeting? No one's recording. I hereby call the meeting to order at 6:32. Have a roll call of our members in attendance, please.
Jim Foran.
Brendan Doyle.
Kate Thompson.
Mike Greco. Josiah Birch.
And Mark Munjum. Thank you very much. First on our agenda is a review of meeting minutes. If anyone's had a chance to take a look at the meeting minutes.
I've got one of them reviewed so far,
All right, well, we'll do that one. Which one do you have?
September 9th,
All right, thank you.
on page 2, item 11. The last sentence, it's just put in parentheses that Brendan Doyle returned to the meeting after his recusal. Page 3, item 16, about 5 sentences down. First name, spelling of the engineer for Alpha Omega is R-A-O-U-F. He's here tonight. Confirm that. On page 4, number 18, second paragraph, motion for negative determination for 15 Talbot Conway, not 16. And number 19, it's Lakeshore Drive, D-R-I-V-E, Drive. And then spelling for Christie Hops is Christine, and it's H-O-P-P-S. And that shows up again a little later in the document with Miss Hops. That's all I've got for that section. Mr. Chairman, if you want to set the motion to approve as amended.
Make a motion for Conservation Committee Monday, September 9th for the notes to approve with the amendments.
A second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes for September 9th as amended. All those in favor?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Kate Thompson, aye.
Mike. Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Okay, September 9th meeting minutes are approved. We'll come back to September 23rd meeting minutes later in the meeting.
Okay.
All right, first up is a discussion of a possible violation, 38 Caswell Court. So this came up at the end of our last meeting, correct? Where it was questioned whether there was some work being done and some disturbance, some tree removals and grading. So, hi, could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Gary Craddock. I'm here to represent 38 Caswell Court, purchased by Tom, can't pronounce his last name. He owns the property. He asked me to come in and speak on behalf of it because we oversee the property.
Okay.
It's my parents' estate. And the area in question, we walked it today with Matt. Matt and I, we went there today, took a look at it, and I explained what we were doing with grading the road down through the back of the property to, we have a rifle range down there. And early spring, the road got washed out. And what I mean by washed out, it was 2-foot ruts going down the roadway, could not passable, couldn't get through. And we maintain it for not only ourselves, but for the fire department to go down and be able to get into the woods down through that way. So there is a gravel bank on the other side of the river, which we've been using for the past 80 years. And we utilize that gravel to grade off the road so it's passable. And that was the construction, or if you want to call it construction, it was maintenance of the property.
Thanks, Gary. What did you observe, Matt, when you were there today?
I observed exactly as Mr. Carter described. It looks like routine maintenance of an existing crossing. I'll put the video up. Watch. There's a beaver dam on one side, and there's a culvert there that's been there forever. And that's part of what we're looking at here. But this is the area that was in the photographs on both sides of the road. There's a little snow on the ground, so that's why it looks the way it does. But you see here, I don't think the road was expanded in any way. I just think routine maintenance has been performed like this for a long time. And I think perhaps an adversary of Mr. Carter made these pictures and tried to get him in trouble for something he's been doing for a long time. So I don't see anything beyond regular maintenance here, Mr. Chairman, in my opinion.
One of the biggest things is we try to, when we do things of this sort, is not encroach on the wetlands that are there. We specifically stay in the area from what was existing and still is existing, and no more than that. And so, like I say, it's just general maintenance of doing what we normally have done for the past 80 years.
Is the driveway part of the wetland, or is it not flagged as wetland itself?
I don't think the flags for Limerick got that far down, did they, Brandon?
They did. In
Yes,
fact,
they do.
Just
Okay.
let me bring up the old
I'll stop sharing.
plan, and I'll see what we got going on here.
Was there any tree removal or cutting of vegetation?
Okay, so what we'll do is turn this. Yep. Then we'll zoom in. Yep, okay. Let's share now. So this is the overall property from south to north on the top. So the area that was in question is this right here, existing cart path. So the green areas are bordering vegetated wetland, the white is upland. So they obviously cut the cart out as a upland, like isthmus between the two upland areas.
Now, that was, the roadway itself, coming off the extension of Caswell Court, was a right-of-way for the Wallace property at the very end of that, okay? They had the right-of-way to go through there ever since my parents owned the property, which goes back to the 1940s. And so that roadway, we've always maintained it for a fire purpose, which has been used several times for fires that have gotten deep into the woods that way. They can also draw water from the brook that we were crossing. There is a culvert there. The culvert was put in right around 2003 when we were looking at developing the property at one point in time with a golf course and a 55 and over. We had it logged, and it was logged to a tree, how should I say it?
Forestry cutting plan.
Forestry cutting plan. And at that time, they had to river cross or brook cross. When they did, they put a culvert in. And they had used their ties to tie in the culvert. And a few years later, upstream, the pond that feeds the brook on this side, which was the Slocum property, had broken. In other words, it had no longer held water back, and it washed out the culvert, it washed out everything downstream. We retrieved the culvert, and we made it in stone. It's all in stone now. So, like I say, it's been a roadway for many years. That's basically what we were doing. We went in and was maintaining it.
Okay. Any comments from commissioners on the subject?
I just have a question about whether there's no trespassing signs posted in
No, we
here.
don't. We try not to hold people back from utilizing it. It's a nice walking path. We have many four-wheelers that go through. During the winter months, the snowmobilers, whatever snow we do get, like to use it. We have mountain bikes that go through. Our own children, our grandson, our grandchild, they use it with their four-wheelers and things like that. And we also have a rifle range down at the far end. Now, that has been approved through the police department. They've been down there several times, not to use it, but they were there to make sure of the safety of it and so on and so forth. We opened it up to the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts use it, both Town of Douglas, Town of Uxbridge. We don't want to say that we want to close it off,
It was very nice of you.
okay? But at the same time, if somebody has a complaint, we're willing to work with them to figure out what the problem is. Now, in the future, we're looking at developing it into a 55 and over. Okay, that's coming up.
Anyone else?
Yeah, and 55 and over, how many houses?
Right now, we have settled on our drawings, which we're going to propose to the town. It will be 63 units. It's going to be 70% single family and 30% duplex. Okay? And we're going to be totally self-contained outside of Surge.
In your review of it, Matt, is there any disturbed ground that should be, have any, I know we can't establish grass on it this time of year, but is it eroding at all or creating any sediment?
No, and plus it's in that wider part of the roadway that Mr. Faniff showed. So I don't see any reason to seed it. It seems to be pretty well contained.
All right. I appreciate you coming in. I don't think that we can discuss, but is there anybody feel like we need to do any kind of enforcement or any on this? Okay.
If I could be of any help to anything, please, let us know.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Yep, you too. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is 25 Conservation Drive donation.
Here it is. Yep. So we have from, Brandon, could you pull?
Yeah.
We have a donation of land from a developer, Rob Cherrier. The draft deed has been vetted by town council. This property would give us some more access to the recently acquired land as part of the Sutton Douglas development. Possibly, I'm not saying we're going to use it for that, but it gives us a little bit wider on Conservation Ave to access that property. Right above it, if you zoom in a little bit, Brandon, there's like a 20-foot wide, yeah, right there. That was our only access point to this property.
right.
If we obtain this one, we have a little bit more access. Granted, it's very wet, and putting a parking lot in would be very challenging, but even for foot traffic or anyone walking it, there might be an opportunity there. So I think that the town should accept this gift from Mr. Cherrier. That's all I got.
Excuse me.
Lisa Lozinski is here for the Open Space Committee, if she wants to say anything about it. Sure.
How you doing?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Lisa Malzinski, 60 Oak Street, for the Open Space Committee. Mr. Sherrier, it's my understanding, has tried to donate to this parcel to the town for quite some time, and Open Space Committee went and did a site walk. It's a beautiful parcel along the river, as Matt said. It gives access to more property that has been set aside for open space from the Sutton Douglas subdivision. And so we voted to facilitate as much as possible the process to get this before the commission, as well as for the Board of Selectmen to vote to accept this donation. We are trying to do this before the end of the year, so Mr. Sherrier can take a tax donation, charitable tax donation, credit.
Thanks, Lisa. How much, what's the size of the parcel? And I can see, does the river flow through this parcel?
I believe yes,
Yeah, yes, it does.
both sides.
I'll bring up the property card. Let's see here.
You said he's tried to donate it several times.
No, it's been a process in approaching the town, and it's just never picked up steam.
To go.
It's a donation, it's not exactly a high priority.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm just trying to facilitate that.
So these field assessment cards tell you absolutely nothing.
There's 2.53 acres there on the card. We got 110, 89.24. Doesn't say square feet, but I think that's what's alluded to, according to the plan.
Oh, there we go, 2.53.
We'd like to see this, of course, protected under Chapter 97 so that it continues to be under the purview of the Conservation Commission, even though the Board of Selectmen has to accept it.
Lisa, I have a question. What, the land in the back of this
Yes,
this piece, is that part of the land that you guys are talking about?
Yep.
Yes.
And how many
Yes,
acres is
not
that?
all of it, but a portion of that has been donated to the town already as part of the Sutton Douglas development.
Fine.
So that
I
one's
wasn't aware of it.
110 acres.
yeah.
110?
Yeah.
Really?
But correct me if I'm wrong, it's got some natural heritage,
It does.
endangered species
Yep.
Yes.
habitat, so
Yes.
we want to keep it as intact as possible.
And the stream is a perennial stream, so, it carries a 200-foot buffer. So most of this property is within that perennial stream buffer zone area.
How far back does that go? The 110 acres?
Well, if you look at it, it's kind
Yeah,
of a weird shaped lot. It's like the leftover land from
Right.
subdivisions.
from a couple subdivisions?
Yeah, probably. So it goes all the way north to the Sutton town line, and then it goes,
Huh.
Duval
what was this?
What's that?
Road. Duval Road.
Mumford
Oh, to
Street?
Duval Road. Oh, okay, wow. Oh,
But that's the whole,
that's from one side all the way to
Yeah,
Concord.
Mumford
that's the
Street.
whole property, not just donated property.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So we should have discussion about this. Any thoughts on whether we feel this is a good idea to accept a donation or not?
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, what would be the reason not to accept it?
I don't know. I would not have any good reasons not to accept it.
There's toxic waste, something
Okay.
like that. You don't want to, sometimes people give stuff away because they want to get rid of a problem, but I doubt.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the very narrow connection that we have now to the property, doesn't really provide us with a good way to get into it, so this will certainly provide us a better access in. So I think it's great. So does anyone want to make a motion to recommend this, that we accept this property as a donation to be under the purview of the Conservation Commission?
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you, Brendan. So it's approved, motion's been made by Jim and seconded by Brendan. All those in favor?
Jim Farr, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
And Mark Mungem. Thank you. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Any paperwork over here for it?
What do we do? Oh, right here. All right, next up on our agenda, under new business, 6:30 PM, request for determination of applicability, public meeting, 45 Lindbergh Avenue, map 227, lot 21. Is anyone here to represent the parcel? If they could come forward, please.
You want me to waive
Oh,
the public meeting?
public meeting? Yeah, sure.
Make a motion to waive the public meeting notice?
Is there a second?
Second?
Brendan seconds. All those in favor of waiving the public reading of the notice?
Jim Farr, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Okay, the meeting's now open. Could you state your name and address, please?
Hi, my name is Scott Davidson. I live in Dudley at 13 First Ave.
Okay?
And Ron and Gail would like to put on a deck.
Just one bench?
On the back of their house. And they asked me to come and represent them.
Okay. So what is the, so it's off the back. We have Laurel Lake or Bad Luck Pond directly behind the house.
Correct.
What's the distance of the, from the lake to the proposed deck and to the existing house?
The shortest distance is 32.7 feet according to this plot plan that I have.
Okay,
It's like a walkout basement, and the porch would be raised up above, so it'd be on 2 footings.
so there would be no excavation of a foundation, I take it? It would be just the
Correct.
excavation of the footings themselves at the corners, at the 2 back corners?
Correct.
Is there any, the plan doesn't show any trees or anything like that? Is there any clearing that is required to be able to add the
Fill up
addition?
the small clearing that they have here. That's the only clear spot they have, is the back of the house. There are trees more lined along the water and to the edges of the property line, but nothing that needs to come down.
So the remainder of this area between this addition and the lake is treed, for the most part?
It's just bordered by trees and shrubbery.
Okay. Do you have any pictures?
Yep.
porch would come out off the,
Yeah, but up to
above
that
the
here.
lattice, yeah.
Take up this area
Yes, yeah.
right here.
Would come out to the picnic, maybe the second picnic table there.
So I took a picture of that because in the original determination that was granted in 2019, there was a removal of a tree, and that tree has already come down, but the rest of the determination has since expired. That's why he's here today, to try to get his determination restarted. I mean, there were some conditions on the original determination. Should be no heavy equipment on the property. Straw wattles must be installed and inspected by the conservation before work begins. No stockpiling of material, and there should be no more than 4 hand-dug sonotubes. I think those conditions, if carried forward, are more than reasonable for this project.
So you said this was before us previously in 2019, did you say?
5 years ago.
There's
And
another packet in there.
Yeah,
And that was-
Into the COVID, and they weren't tech savvy enough to do the Zoom meetings, so they just dropped off. And then they recontacted me again last year.
Okay. So but we can't, obviously, we can't extend that
We have to issue
because
it.
we have to issue new one because it's more than 3 years and it wasn't,
Right.
okay.
Right.
And nothing's changed.
No,
Any thoughts from the commission members?
Looks like a good idea, because otherwise you're going to fall out that door.
yeah, the window had rotted out, it was a picture window, and at the time, we thought this was gonna be going through, so we installed the door, and then it's done, so.
Josiah, anything? No. Kate? Anybody from the public have any comment or thought? Want to make, anybody on Zoom? No one's on Zoom. All right. I don't have a problem with
No.
reissuing the negative determination with the conditions that we had previously. If you want to go read those
Yep.
again,
Declare the hearing closed.
Close the hearing.
I will. Close the hearing. Hearing's closed.
Excellent.
So I believe you're looking for a motion to issue a negative redetermination with the conditions carried forward from the 2019 determination of applicability for the project at 45 Lindbergh Ave.
Can you just state those again?
Sure. Those conditions are, should be no heavy equipment on the property. Straw wattles must be installed and inspected by the conservation before work begins. No stockpiling or material, and there shall be no more than 4 hand-dug sonotubes.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. We'll have a roll call.
Jim Foreign,
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Josiah Verchai.
Mark Mungem, aye. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Do you have paperwork for that?
Oh, yeah. 45 Lindbergh, right?
Correct.
Here we go.
Okay, next up, is 6:30 PM. RDA, public meeting, request for determination of applicability for 34 Grove Street, map 161, lot 45. Do you want to make a motion to waive the reading of the public hearing notice?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Seconded by Brendan. And all those, roll call vote?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. I'll open the meeting. You here to represent this one?
Yes, I am.
Could I get your name and address, please?
Edward McLean, 34 Grove Street.
Thank you, Edward.
Before we begin, I apologize, this is tardy, but I have some supplementary materials for everyone here.
Okay.
Just take one and pass them along.
Sure.
Thank you.
Is this going this way? What is this? This one?
You?
Hey, what do you have for us, Ed?
So I apologize, I was not aware of the procedure for how this all goes about. So I had some tree removal done on my property without applying for it first. To explain why, there's a new development. I'm right in the middle of pine forest, about 80 to 120 foot tall white pines. A couple of months ago, middle of the night, about a 90 to 100 foot pine came down about 30 feet off the back of my house, specifically right off the bedroom. Thankfully, it fell in the direction not of the bedroom, otherwise I don't know that I'd be here at this meeting. It's quite scary, prompted some action from me, so I consulted a licensed arborist who also works for a tree removal company, and we identified every tree that could possibly fall on the house within the border, and as well as a few other trees that were dead or decaying that could have caused damage to the property, such as the driveway or the electric lines. And only those trees were cut down. But because, as I said, I'm in the middle of a forest that turned out to be about 64 trees. So since I didn't apply for permission to do this, I'm here sort of asking for forgiveness, and what I've passed out to you, I just got from my landscape architect today. I'd always intended to replant anyways, but now I have a tentative replanting outline that I will formally apply for at a later date. I just wanted to show you in good faith that, I intend to replant here.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any pictures, Matt?
Yes,
or
we do.
Brendan?
Find his original notice of intent for conditions. Trying to find pictures.
Yeah, 64 trees is a lot of trees.
A lot of trees. Can't even tell.
You sure?
I would challenge you, aside from the stumps, to be able to tell that it wasn't as it was developed. I also have included, it should be included with the materials, a letter from the arborist describing.
Saw that.
So there's a plan in what we see here, and I'm looking at it, and it's got like a whole bunch of numbers on it.
Yes.
What is that about?
So I did my best to just number where the trees that were taken, but it's small. Basically, to make it legible, I just sort of had to approximate. I overcounted by a little bit as well. So I just tried to outline where the trees were that were taken to make it easier for the arborists. Describe why the trees were taken in each area.
Okay. So in looking at this, looks like the majority of the trees were taken out behind, well, if you come up the driveway to the right, back right of the house, is that correct? But there were some taken out to the left of the driveway and left of the house as well?
Yes. They were either exceptionally tall or damaged, posing a risk to the driveway and the rest of the property.
It looks like you are surrounded by wetlands. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. And I have since learned, thanks to Matthew, that many of the trees removed were in the buffer zone.
Yes, that is correct.
And as is my replanting plan, it's all in the buffer zone. So like I said, I'll be filing for that.
Yes, when the property received its original order conditions, there was a limit of work established, which by removing the trees, you're beyond what was originally approved for the notice of intent.
Yes, I understand that now. Didn't at the time.
So is what you're proposing to replant the area that the trees were removed, to go back to that original limit?
It's not the full area, but it's primarily the back and back right, where the bulk of the trees were removed. And it's a greater number by caliper measurement of diameter of trees. If we go by, I believe the town of Lincoln has a standard 12, if anything's over 12 inches, it requires 2 shrubs or 1 tree to be replanted. If it's under 12 inches, 1 or 1. There's a greater number of plants, shrubs, and trees there than would be required under that. And yes, it would extend into the buffer zone, but it's all native. For this planting, it's all native plants, trees, and shrubs.
Video, it's a little choppy, but.
I should note, I have already previously planted 18 trees within the lawn area, part of landscaping.
Do you have any pictures from the house looking out towards that? Or no? Or maybe Google Maps? Maybe you can see something? Sorry. I was just curious. How many have you already replanted or
Well, I haven't replanted, but
I meant
yeah, okay, yeah,
planted? 18.
And that's not counting large shrubs. So 4 red maples, 11 arborvitae, and 2 dogwoods, and a summerberry.
Unless you remember all of that on the top of your head. I wouldn't.
It's a continuing project of ours.
So up there, that looks like it's from the house going out.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
And that is, from the house going out, that's where the replanting zone from the culvert.
The replication.
Yeah, the replication area. We didn't do any work in there. Actually, sorry, that's incorrect. There were 2 dead trees along the side of the driveway near the culvert that were in danger of falling on the telephone lines. We just felled those into the swamp area, but only dead trees.
This is the replication. I think. Those trees are part of it. That's one of the felled trees. Developed there. This is on the other side of the driveway. This is the other replication area. This area here. Just another view of it, I suppose. So, feedback from DEP, this application, they're aware that there's not a COC for the existing order because of the replication area. So, given that we're under an active order of conditions, the RDA is kind of meaningless at this point because there's an active order. So the commission, by way of an enforcement order, wanted to implement this planting plan as part of the order of conditions. I think that would be reasonable.
And to be transparent, I think some of the species might be up for change, but they'd still all be native, as well as the location. This is a first draft.
Defer to Brandon on the species. He's got concerns about any of these.
Just, well, on this,
Yeah.
some of them I haven't heard of. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're not native, but, for example, Germanium himalayanese doesn't sound native. Bunchberry dogwood, Cornus canadensis, I haven't heard of. Summer sweet, yes. Cercis canadensis Avondale, I don't know what that is. It's not one that we normally deal with. River birch is okay. Balsam fir, usually found a little further north, but still native adjacent, so maybe not indigenous. The difference between native and indigenous. Native means that it's like from this general area. Indigenous means that it's like from something you're going to find, absolutely find Douglas. Red Sprite, winterberry is fine. Red spruce is good. Great rhododendron is good. American Gold Rush Rudbeckia, it looks like not a daisy, the
Black-eyed Susan.
black-eyed Susans. Are those native? We don't generally deal with that. Canadian hemlock's fine, although you might have a problem with the woolly adelgid beetle that's eating them. Low bush blueberry's good. And arrowwood viburnum dentatum, that's fine.
Happy, if anything isn't, we're going to happy to change it. And we do have 4 hemlocks adjacent, in the immediate vicinity. Thankfully, we haven't had any problems with that beetle so far.
Brennan, about the process, how do you feel about the fact that we already have an order conditions and have applied for an RDA, and just going forward, how do we do this? What's the best way to go about doing this?
What is it that the applicant wants to do here?
Well, I've already done it, which is the tree removal. I'm just filing the paperwork afterwards because I didn't know that I needed to file paperwork and apply for it in the first
How many of
place.
these trees were cut down that were actually in the buffer zone?
The majority of them,
Majority, so it was what, 68, you said?
64.
64, so like over 50?
Yes.
That's what I would consider to be a significant change myself, that would require an amendment to the order of conditions. That's my personal opinion.
That's what my thought was too.
Yeah, so I wouldn't approve something like this through a RDA myself. My recommendation would have been to file a notice of intent anyway, issue a positive determination. So my recommendation, if you're asking for it,
I am.
is to file an amendment to the order of conditions. And then you can review the merits as you wish.
Yeah, I mean, if we have an open order of conditions for the property, I don't see how we cannot do that personally.
Right, and then the other thing is, I don't know how necessary it is, seeing is that, Mr.
Edward.
Mr. Edward.
Oh, McLean.
Mr. McLean is already in here, cooperating with the commission. This is something that is very likely to receive an enforcement order for. But I don't know if you want to go that route, if you think it's even necessary.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary because he's here before us and he's, already stated that, the work was already done and he's proposing a means to, to correct what was done. So I don't know that an enforcement order is necessary. But I think that we clearly need to update the notice of intent or the.
File an amendment?
Do the amendment.
Do anybody know the date on of issuance on the order of conditions?
It was issued, filed on November 27th, 2020. DP file number 143-101.
So it was probably issued before the end of 2020, which means that it was in existence on January 1st, 2023, which means that means it was due to it was due to expire in 2023.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But because it was in existence due to the Leeds Act that I told you all about last time, it receives an automatic de facto extension of 2 years, so it is now active until 2025. So you can do the amendment if that's the way you want to go. I recommend. But
And so what?
in order to do that, I would recommend that as part of the filing for that would be an updated site plan where the trees are located, that came down, they're located on the plan. The trees that were taken down, estimate what the diameter breast height was, and if possible, the species that was removed.
For the last part, it was only white pine. Don't know this species of it, but
They were all white pine.
all white pines.
Well, that makes it easy. General size, though, helps. It helps the commission to quantify the impact.
Understood.
It was issued on February 25th, 2021.
Oh, it didn't get issued until 21?
Right.
All right, so it's valid till 26 then?
I believe the arborist letter roughly specifies the diameter, at least on minimum and maximum, not for each specific tree, point by point. So-
Whenever I have to, this is not the first situation that I've ever dealt with, and it won't be the last, but when I'm on that side of the table, the exercise is to determine the size and the species of the tree that came down, as well as the GPS, at least GPS the location of the felled trees, and put it on the plan, so the commission can have full information.
So he produces the plan and then proposes the planting,
Yep.
replanting, and he comes before us with this and.
With the amendment, and then you can discuss the merits, approve or deny, and a amended order of conditions will be issued. Either way.
Public hearing process for that?
Yes, there is. So when you amend an order of conditions, you have to go through the public notification process all over again. So you have to notify all the abutters, direct abutters, like you would if it was a new NY. And you have to do the legal advertisement in the local newspaper and get on the agenda, come in and have a hearing.
Just to be clear, this is new to me.
Yep.
So a new engineering survey.
No,
Yeah.
if you can, you already have a plan for the property, right? You
Yes.
already have such a plan. So if I was you, in order to save money, I'd try to go back to that same firm so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel from scratch. Because it'll be, obviously, if you go with somebody else, they're going to have to make a new plan from scratch, and that's going to be expensive and take more time. That's my advice, my consultation.
Right.
And so the replanting will be on hold until I do this, all of this. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
but now you have direction.
And it's winter, so.
Right.
And if-
Hoping for spring, we'll see what happens.
And if you need something in writing, contact Matt or me, whoever, tomorrow, and we can kind of give you the bullet point list of what we just told you, because there was a lot to take in.
Thank you.
So what do we do with the RDA? Vote to take no action?
I would, do you wish to move forward with the RDA, Mr. Klein?
I'm not sure what that would mean.
Do you want to withdraw the RDA? I don't, you
It
didn't.
would not be a yeah, go ahead.
But it would be a positive. So you got two choices. You can either issue a determination, negative or positive, however you want to do it, or Mr. McLean can withdraw the RDA right now, and you can vote to withdraw without prejudice.
What would it mean for Mr. McLean if you were to withdraw the RDA?
That means he'd be stuck, absolutely stuck, doing the amended order conditions. But it sounds like that's what's going to happen. I suppose you keep it open just in case, so he doesn't have to do the process, just in case something changes.
Yep.
And once the amended order of conditions is issued, then you could withdraw the RDA, because it's no longer, it's moot, right? But in the meantime, Jen's going to have to deal with it on the agenda, and you probably, Mr. Klein, don't know when you're going to be back in. So my recommendation would be for, if you want to keep it in, have Mr. McLean do a continuance of at least 2 months, request a continuance of at least 2 months, and then Jen won't have to deal with it on the agenda every 2 weeks.
Okay. Request that continuance, please.
Okay, so, see, what date would that be? What is the schedule?
Is it February 3rd, you said? 2025.
Let's go into February. So let's say,
There's only one meeting in February because of the holiday.
how about
It's,
February 3rd
or March 3rd.
or March 3rd? I think March 3rd is probably fine.
You want to do March 3rd then?
That's probably better.
Is it March 3rd though? Is that the date? Okay.
So I want to make a motion to continue this public meeting till March 3rd.
I'll make a motion to continue this meeting to March 3rd, 2025 for 34 Grove Street, map 161, lot 45.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. Roll call vote.
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Monjamai. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck.
Thank you. I'll be in touch about exactly what all this means. Thank you.
Nothing like learning the hard way.
Your boss.
Yep. All right, next up, number 3, old business. ANRAD DP number 143-116, public hearing continued for Dominic Grew, 43 Perry Street, wetland delineation, map 242, lot 17. I'll open the public hearing.
Good evening, Rauf Makari from Alpha Omega Engineering. I'm representing the client for the NRAD. We had wetland flag by our wetland scientist and Sam from Brandon's office. She was the wetland line. She confirmed all the flags except one that was revised. And the plan you have in your hand is the updated one according to the revised.
Let me bring it up on the screen.
Flag number 6 was 7 was eliminated, and committed number 6 eliminated.
There was only one change requested, which was to connect flag number 6 to flag number 8 and eliminate flag number 7. So this little weird
Right.
triangle, Sam felt it was unnecessary. Other than that, she thought that the wetland boundary was accurate. So my recommendation to you, Mr. Chairman, is to approve the ANRAD as correct. And issue an order of resource area delineation for the plan with dated, with the revision date, revised 12/16/2024. Got that, Jim?
Yep.
You guys had a chance to look at it, and you're okay with that? Other commission members?
No,
I have pictures of the property if you want to see them.
yeah, I haven't reviewed it.
Okay. So, let me bring up some pictures.
You guys understand what this,
Little feedback.
I somehow got unmuted, though, sorry. Okay. Driveway leading in. And pictures of the wetland on the north side. Little brook with a little culvert going underneath the driveway. Little
what is
brook
that,
in the middle.
what is that built with? Is that stone and wood?
Looked like mortar, like a
Cement?
Golden cement, just like 3.
Oh, okay, now I can see now. Yeah.
Looks like Swamp Yankee ingenuity right there. Okay. Showing the wetland. So we're on the, just on the north side of the driveway at the crossing. Yeah, right in there. Now looking down the little brook, which at the time it was done, it was very dry. The rain starting again, but the time that Sam was there, it was very dry. See the patches of sphagnum moss here that are completely dried out. Sphagnum moss is an obligate wetland plant. They have a root system that's less than an inch deep, so they occur in wetlands 99% of the time, which gives you an idea of how wet it has to be. Some moss patches of sphagnum moss in the body of the wetland. This is the body of the wetland. These green patches of the sphagnum moss. Typical interior, typical wetland boundary. See the wetland, it goes up pretty quick here. Pretty open. So you made for a nice walk. And that's it.
Okay, so we would be voting to approve this plan as the wetland layout, wetland delineation on this site. So just to,
If I may, Mr. Chairman, The ANRAD, what that does is it verifies wetland types and boundaries, usually done as a safety net for design before a notice of intent comes in. That way, there's less risk associated with the design. So there's nothing worse than paying thousands of dollars for civil engineering design. It comes in, and then Brandon and Sam says, well, you messed up the wetland line. Now you have to go back and do a redesign for several $1,000s, right? Am I right, Rev?
Yep, that's what we do.
That's why they do it. So that's the purpose of this application.
Do you have a comment?
Yes.
Could you come forward or give us your name and address, please?
I'm Raymond Hebert from 52 Berry Street,
Okay.
and I didn't hear what his proposal was. Was it to put some houses up there?
He's not making a proposal to us tonight. All he's doing is wanting to clarify and get approval as to where the wetland edge is. That's all. He's not proposing anything tonight.
Because I would be against it.
Okay?
Keep your ears peeled, because it's probably eventually going to be an application. But
Yeah.
Right.
Can I explain now, or do I have to come back?
You can, if you have a question about the wetland edge, then you can make a comment about that tonight, but there's nothing that, there's no proposal before us as to what he's going to do,
Just
so.
that the way if they put any buildings in there, they're all going to be using the same driveway, and that against what I want. Because that driveway shines right in our picture window.
Okay. All right. So that'll be something that, you can discuss with us when it comes before the Conservation Commission, but the planning board might have a say on that matter as well.
may I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely.
Mr. Hebert, is there anything that you can tell us about the nature of that wetland and the land in general right there?
Well, I know across the street, they put up a house, and they drew gravel in there for 3 months to put the house on.
Okay.
Nobody says nothing because you can't see it. It's at 46 Perry Street, which is across the street from that property. And the house is down over the hill, and I know that's all wetlands. And the trucks have been driving through there almost for 3 months this summer to fill it up before they could put up a house.
That was just done. That was just done this past summer, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks for your comments. We will, you'll be informed if anything further is going to happen with the property.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
You're a direct abutter? You're a direct abutter?
Right across the street.
Then you'll get notified, yeah.
Like I said, their driveway shines right into our picture window.
Gotcha.
So how far is the wetland from the driveway, actually?
So it goes right up, well, in that one
looks like
spot,
it's-
it goes
Well,
underneath the driveway.
yeah, I see that, but is it 14 feet? Is that what I'm seeing here next to the,
It's all the way to the culvert.
What did I just do with the plan?
I see this
So
is
it
the,
goes all the way to the culvert from both sides.
so there's, oh, right here, one
So
foot,
the two wetlands are connected by the culvert.
right. But then you have right on
It's
this-
pretty narrow.
but in this
I
side,
would say, what,
14.
10 feet, 10 or 12 feet?
About 12 feet or so.
Yeah, you have one here, and then on this side it's
Yeah.
14.
Just 3, 8.
That's the wetland flag number,
Oh,
the
flat.
14, yeah.
Okay, okay, my mistake.
What's the scale, Raoul? 40?
1 to 40.
40, okay. So like, for example, let's go from flag 23. It's 20 feet. Flag 23 is 20 feet from the edge of the gravel drive.
How many feet?
20 feet,
20 feet.
yep, from the edge of the gravel drive. Flag,
What's the width at the crossing, at the culvert?
at the crossing, it's about 10 feet.
And
10-foot wide driveway, that's about 12, 10, 12.
I mean, the Town of Douglas Wetlands Protection Regulations and Table 1 of type of work of residential activity
Yep.
is 25 feet.
Right, so my guess is that this house and gravel drive has been there for longer than the bylaw's been in effect.
Okay, all right.
So that's why I'm not recommending.
I think this, I thought this was total new construction.
No. In fact, it reads number 43, existing house, right here, so.
Yeah, I saw that, but
It was built in the mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s, okay.
in the mid-'80s. Okay.
Yeah, and right now, we're just verifying the wetland boundary, and then they're going to have to file, I presume, a notice of intent, and then we'll review it on its merits.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, anyone?
Any other comments from the public? All right. Everyone okay? All right, we'll close this public meeting, public hearing.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Do you want me to make a
Yeah,
motion?
you want to make a motion?
Sure. Make a motion to approve the ANRAD with the revised plan for 12/16/24 for DP 143-1116 for 43 Perry Street, wetland delineation, map 242, lot 17.
A second.
Thank you, Brendan. So this ANRAD plan, all those in favor of approving it?
Jim Farr and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Hi, Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch abstain.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is this one getting postponed? Okay. Can I just make a motion? Or- Oh, okay, no, that's why I was asking. I didn't want to step on, that's why I'm asking.
Can I have that plan, Mr. Chairman?
Seriously?
Pass them around.
Because we're, I don't,
Everybody to swipe.
The next one's,
is it new? Because it seems very bright and vivid. Is it always on? Wow. All right.
Okay, I will reopen the public hearing for notice of intent, Christopher Betancourt, 0 Perry Street, map 269, lot 13 and 14, DEP number 143-1112.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Received an email correspondence from the applicant's attorney that they wish to continue the Fire Road NOI to the March meeting.
Okay.
March 3rd.
Yes.
I have a motion to continue the public hearing to March 3rd.
So moved?
second?
Seconded by Mike Greco. All those in favor?
Jim Farr and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. Okay. Number 5, 56 Lakeshore Drive enforcement order. We didn't have anything more to discuss on that
I
tonight,
haven't heard
correct?
anything more from DEP.
Okay.
Otherwise, I did some site walks, but I didn't have any washouts to report, so otherwise, we're just waiting to hear from DEP. I know that they did visit the site the same day that I did, but we're just waiting to hear from them on their feedback.
But do you know what day that was?
It was Wednesday last week,
Wednesday last week?
the 11th, I think.
What did you see on your visit, Matt?
So I already told the upbutters that we wouldn't discuss this, so.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's all right. You don't have to discuss it.
Yeah, I just,
That's fine. So number 6 is Lakeshore Drive as well. We won't discuss that either. Moving on, item 7 on our agenda is Certificate of Compliance and Extension Request for Order of Conditions, DP number 143-1033, Nicholas Meadows, 42 Perry Street.
Does this fall under that law?
This falls under your law, Brandon.
What's the law?
What?
The automatic extension law?
Have your own law.
What it is?
What are we talking about?
The new law.
Yeah.
It's my law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brandon's
it's the
law.
Brandon law now.
You're welcome.
Known as your law.
Yeah,
So when we just say the Brandon law, you now know.
That's right.
I thought that the Brandon law is like when you screw up and you just can't get it right.
No, no, no. We only do good here.
You know what Murphy's law is, but do you know what Muppery's law is?
No.
Muppery's law is when someone writes something, or whenever you correct someone else's mistake, you yourself in turn make your own mistake.
It's like karma, but
Yeah.
It is, exactly.
What is this extension for? To NOI?
Where are we?
number 7.
Yeah, number 7.
Yep.
And do we need to go through the process of approving if it's already extended the 2 years?
No, but if you remember from last time, the commission has the ability to extend for up to 3 years. The extension
Right.
automatically gives you 2 years, so you can, it's kind of like, what was the show with door number 1, door number 2, door number 3?
What's
Oh, with
Dating
Let's
game?
make it, no, it's like, let's make a deal, very good.
yeah, let's make a deal.
So, we'll give you 2 years, but if you want to go behind door number, boom, you might get 3.
Are they requesting 3 years, or are they just,
No, it's totally your discretion. You can get 1, 2, or
Are they
3.
And this is
Are they here?
42 Perry Street, meaning the property right next to
Does
the
it appear to be?
ANRAD that we just
Yeah, it's
discussed? or across
Yes.
the street from?
across the street, yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting, huh?
Yes, interesting. I don't have anything else to say about it. Just
I know.
Noticing.
Well, that's good.
It's just pretty that we went from, 43 to 42 and crossed over 0 Perry Street.
What was the address of the gentleman who came up here? talking about
46?
46?
46 Perry Street, yeah, Mr. Hebert.
Thanks.
So what do we know about this one? No. Matt, do we know anything about what?
I did not.
what the notice of intent is?
Not,
Okay.
Because it doesn't really say much.
If they're not here, maybe we should just give them the minimum extension. 1 year.
It's 2
Well,
automatically.
you can give them 1 year, but the state's going to automatically give them 2.
Okay,
So give them the 2.
make it 2.
I think we should just stay consistent going forward, though. If, like,
On extensions?
I'm staying out of it. It's your decision.
you know, like, I think if we're gonna, they're here, or if we don't know anything, are we just gonna do the 2, or are we always gonna do the 3? Makes no difference to me, honestly, but,
I don't think if they're here, we should give them 3.
That's how I feel.
all right, so then
Yeah.
we should stay I just want to stay kind of
The state says
consistent,
2, we'll give
you know?
them 2.
So if they don't come or whatever, then we'll just give them the automatic 2 then?
Yeah, just give them 2.
I'd just rather stay kind of consistent,
Yeah,
so
no,
people
I
can't come
agree.
back and be like,
Yeah, yeah, just to stay on point with Brandon's law.
approve with Brandon's Law for 2 years?
What's the
Sure,
other
no
law?
problem.
Mumfree's Law?
Murphy's Law.
Mumfree's
Murphy's Law, and then Murphy's Law, so.
Muppets.
Never heard of it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I just heard Karma, that's, that's the one I,
Let's be honest, he could be making all this stuff.
he could.
He's doing
I
a good
don't
job
think
with
he
it.
is.
Well, you know that
He could be.
68.7% of statistics are made up on the spot.
You know, I think it's 68.2.
All I gotta do is say it convincingly, Brandon. I'm in.
That is. Which property? You're right.
Which property is he here for?
see it for
I
just,
don't know.
What property are you here?
I'm here for all the Sleepy Hollow lots.
yeah, just for.
Okay.
I didn't know. Oh,
Yep, the rest of them.
oh, the rest, okay. I was going to say, because no one else is here, and I didn't,
I guess I'll make a motion to extend 2 years
Okay.
for
second.
42, yeah.
Right,
Harry,
Josiah has made the motion to extend the order conditions for DEP number 143-1033, Nicholas Meadows, 42 Perry Street, for 2 years, and that's, you seconded that motion, Jim?
Yep, I did.
All right, roll
Yes.
call vote?
Do you have a date? So I can just put it in there? Sorry. Jim 4-9.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Bucko, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Date of issuance was
Mark Mungemine.
12/5/2021. So this extended to 12/5/2026. I think that's a 5, no, 12/6/2026. It's hard to read.
So it's 12/6/21 to 12/6/20.
26.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Item number 8, a request for certification of compliance for DEP number 143-1007, Sleepy Hollow, 18 Joseph Road, lot number 25, map 164, lot 9.13.
So, Mr. Chairman, if you want, we could take all these together, because the plan you're about to see includes them all. So, if you want, I can share my screen.
I do have a full-size copy.
Yeah, I think a chairman would like to see it.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I don't know if you guys have an easel or anything, I could pass it around. I also do have.
Put it on the chair.
17 copies of the same plan.
Okay.
And I can just have you guys.
Okay.
So the red line plans are up
There's a new 100-inch TV.
Have fun.
No, you can buy a 100-inch. And then you can buy the arm that comes out, you
Just all
know.
on one
Can we
side.
Yes, correct.
Get an arm so we can see
This was
better,
a
right?
gravel pit, so everything was carved down essentially into kind of.
Do we have one more?
Whole area. and
Oh.
This was the only one.
Never mind, bye-bye. There you go, sir.
Thanks. Wow, a lot of red on
Yeah,
this,
there is a lot
Right?
of red.
a lot of mistakes.
So no mistakes or anything. Red line overlay, what you're seeing in red is what our current as-built conditions are. And it's just to kind of help simplify because it was very cluttered initially when I did it. Anything in black was the approved design locations for things. I did turn off like the existing topography and stuff out there just to help kind of keep down on that clutter. And unfortunately, I did have some smaller lot plans, but those got lost to a puddle as I was leaving the office today. But I do have 18 by 24s if you would like to see the individual lots themselves, just as a simplified view there.
Okay.
But we did provide a cover letter for each of the lots. If you would like, I can briefly run through those. For the most part, on these 6 lots, 3 of them, they did meet what the design approvals were. And on the other 3, there was a couple minor discrepancies. The wall might have shifted a few feet or so, but again, I can go point by point on all of those items.
I was like, what?
Yeah, if you could just start by pointing out which lot is Lot 18, and as you go from lot to lot, just let us
Sure
know.
thing. So lot 18, house number 25, is just one located at the very end here. I believe that was recently in front of the commission for some tree removal that was handled directly by the homeowner there. So you may have seen something in terms of a plan there for it. But for this particular lot here, essentially our limit of work was this tree line, dark tree line that we have shown there. What got built out there generally mirrored what that limit of work was. There was a small deviation in this area as we get a little bit closer to the wetland. This work here was for a water main installation to loop Joseph Road into an abutting street. That work there was done under separate order of conditions and has already received its COC. So with our as-built, we just did pick up some additional topo through that area as well as the tree line just to kind of help define everything. But essentially, in terms of the substantial changes out there, we did have a differing house footprint. Initially during the approval process, we were going for something that was a little bit more narrow, but a little bit deeper. That did have impacts that were a little bit closer towards the wetland area. Unfortunately, I did catch in my cover letter here that it was 132 feet to the wetlands. That was actually to the property lines. The correct distance is about plus or minus 56 feet as approved to the wetlands. And with our new house footprint, we ended up going a little bit wider, but more narrow. And we were able to get our closest point of the constructed house 68 feet from the wetland area. So essentially, we did get about 12 extra feet of grass and area in between where that wetland's going to be, where the house was. In terms of the other impacts that we had on there, it was not anything a part of our proposal. It was a part of that homeowner coming in for the tree clearing. But there was a riprap area that was done within the water main easement to kind of help with some slope stability. And that was the substantial change that had occurred. In terms of retaining wall location, dry well locations, anything along those lines, those all were meeting or within a foot of what we had for the design proposal there. In terms of the grading for it, the only other change we had was we were proposing to cut back this hillside here a little bit. The client did not end up putting in that cut down of the hill, but did have it mulched and made it turn into a landscape feature on that side. They did add in some little bit of stone. I believe they had a stone bench up there as well. But in terms of any other impacts that they might have had, nothing substantial on that plot had occurred for it.
And all that was within, oh, it doesn't matter, it's outside the 100-foot buffer, never mind.
anybody wanted just to see a slightly closer photo here. Originally, the approved house was coming through this area here, and we had it within a few feet of where that wall was. So now this whole area has become lawn, and then essentially with the wider footprint, we were able to tuck everything further away from the wetland portion there. Landscape portion was added on this hillside here. Riprap slope was added again within that water main easement, and everything else in terms of what was proposed was meeting that criteria.
Okay.
So then,
Any questions on that lot? Okay, thank you.
for the next lot, moving down, we have here Lot 19, house number 19. Originally for this proposal, as you can see with the dark red line overlay, limit of work, existing and proposed, did match up with what we had for design out there. There was intended to have a fence that was installed along that limit of work, just your standard fence that was there. The contractor actually left a little bit of a berm in between where the rear yard was and where the slope starts to go down towards that wetland area. So they did not find a need to have that fence installed. In terms of the retaining wall location, that did match up relatively closer with our design plan. And in terms of the house itself, we actually did a revised footprint that took the entire house footprint outside of the buffer zone. So we actually made a drastic improvement in terms of what was proposed versus what was installed out there. Everything in that rear yard is grass and has been stabilized out there. And then if you folks did want to see that large scale plan, I can always plot that down.
So I think we're okay, right?
Yeah.
See the lot scale?
Yeah, sure.
Just-
This house here, buffer zone is 100 foot. House footprint previously was shown to occupy this space in here. With the new proposal, all that has been taken out, and then everything through this area is now remaining grass out there.
Okay. Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
So for our next lot, we have, let's see, right here, this is going to be lot 20, house number 17. We did have a few minor deviations with this plan. First one was regarding the stone retaining wall in the rear of that yard. It was installed about 91.4 feet from the wetland area. And then we did have a revised building footprint. Footprint did increase in size in comparison to what was previously proposed out there. However, the building change did occur outside of the 100-foot buffer zone, and with the adjacent lot having much of that area removed from the buffer zone, we did not feel that the overall impacts were going to be anything too substantial there. In terms of this retaining wall here, this is holding back a little bit of the grade in this area, and it is sloping down through that tree line portion. But any of the runoff that is associated with the house, anything associated with that rear yard, there is a swale that's carried throughout all of these backyards, or at least it's graded to pitch through all the backyards. So any runoff that is from this house, from that backyard, will be making its way into the street system, handled through the drainage system before any sort of discharge there. So with those changes, there was no direct impacts to the wetland area that was there. And then the only other change that we had within the buffer zone was they did end up fencing off this backyard area here. If I recall correctly, Matt, I believe that was a chain link fence that was out there. So in terms of design versus constructed, that was essentially the major change that occurred there.
What is below the wall? towards the wetland?
So as far as where the wall is, that became the limit of work. Anything on the high side where we were standing, that's all natural conditions. Originally, this whole entire area was sloped towards the rear of the houses and continued across the proposed street that's there. And this was essentially a large gravel pit. So everything was mined down per an earth removal process, and essentially we had a bowl that was left in this area, and that's how these houses were developed, making sure that we didn't have any runoff going directly into the wetland, that it did grade towards our proposed drainage system. And then as we get a little bit further down, you'll see a little bit more defined of where those hillsides were. Just based on the original contouring we had here and the elevations that were chose from the houses, this lot and the adjacent lot were essentially where everything was meeting the crest of that hillside before the natural slope occurred. So essentially, again, that stone retaining wall area, or a few feet behind that, was where the limit of work was. Nothing past that portion.
Okay, thank you.
And then just to stay consistent with everything, this is lot 20, house number 17 here. And again, limit of work was originally proposed back here. No grading, no changes or anything were done. That wall was installed. Fence ran along this back side here. And then it was just the house footprint that changed outside the buffer zone. So now we are on lot 21, number 15. Essentially, we have our 100-foot buffer zone that is falling right in this area here. And the only thing that we had that was proposed was the stone retaining wall was about 95 feet away from the wetland area. Initially, that was all just intended to be graded at a 3-to-1 slope. We do have 3-to-1 slopes that are above the retaining wall, but just to help define that backyard, make sure that people weren't going to try to, go past that point, the developer did have essentially that stone wall running, pretty much the whole entire length of the side. So that was the only substantial change that had occurred within the buffer zone. We did have a slight house footprint change here, that it did get a little bit larger than what was previously proposed, but again, that was all graded towards the roadway. Everything impact-wise is being handled through the drainage system.
Okay, thank you.
Large scale plan. Buffer zone was here. That closest wall impact fell very close to this property line here. And then, again, everything else was occurring outside of that buffer zone. Next lot is lot 22, number 13, Joseph Road. With this one here, our buffer zone essentially fell at the top of our slope here. It was proposed as 3-to-1 grading from that point down. We had no changes that significantly occurred to our limit of work there. And for the most part, our contouring did follow what was proposed out there. A couple of minor small changes, but essentially well outside of that buffer zone, they did have a similar stone wall installed to kind of help define that backyard. Nobody's been necessarily going up that hillside to try to mow or do anything maintenance-wise there. So we would expect that to kind of return to a more natural condition over time. And then that same thing would also be occurring for lot 23, number 11 Joseph Road, where we do have that 100-foot buffer that essentially was just being triggered due to our grading to meet where the crest of that hillside was. We do have a 200-foot riverfront area that falls in this area here. That was primarily impacted by the detention basin. None of our grading went into that area. We did make sure when we were making that proposal that we did not try to disturb anything further within that 200-foot riverfront. And we were able to confirm with our limit of work that that was the case. They did remain outside the 200 foot.
Your letter on Lot 21, number 1, says a stone retaining wall less than 4 foot tall was installed 95.5 feet from the wetlands to accommodate rear yard grading.
Yes.
I don't see a wall within the 100-foot buffer zone.
It's a very small corner here that falls within it, and essentially, if you were to take that dimension right along the property line, that was...
Isn't that Lot 20?
No, that is Lot 21, that's right here. Lot 20 is right in the middle here, and I can pull it up on the large plans here if that helps.
So which is 21?
21 is this lot right here, third from the left.
So right here's 21.
All right.
So the lot...
Yeah, no, he has it here.
21 is this
That's
one
what I thought.
right
Yeah,
No.
no?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
I was reading 21 and looking at 22. Sorry, my fault. Yeah, okay, thank you. Was the detention or drainage basin part of the notice of intent?
So there was a notice of intent filed for that one there. Unfortunately, I was not a part of that process, so I don't know too much of the specifics for it. All of these lots were filed separate from that, though. So it was only just essentially the house design and the proposed septics, if any of that fell within the buffer.
So you're not sure if there's a,
I'm not aware if it's open or not,
Yeah.
or if the COC has been issued. I do know that we are filing for street acceptance, so if there was anything lingering on that end, we would be making sure that we're getting that closed out. But at least that is not being heard tonight.
okay. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
And I'm more than happy to go back to a couple of large-scale plans if anybody did need to see anything on that end.
I don't have any concerns. I think
No, I
everything
don't.
was put together pretty well.
Yeah, impressed.
Took care of our concerns in regards to drainage, having all the water flow towards the street instead of going off the back of the properties, so. I'm okay with it.
Do I need to make a motion?
Do them all at once?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, make a motion to
All right.
approve the certificates of compliance.
I will make a motion to approve the certificate of compliances for the following: DP 143-1007 for 18 Joseph Road, DP 143-1008 for 19 Joseph Road, DP 143-1009 for 17 Joseph Road, DEP 143-1010 for 15 Joseph Road, and DP 143-1011 for 13 Joseph Road, DP 143-1012 for 11 Joseph Road.
If I could jump in briefly, and apologize. I'd just like to correct for the record, it's house number 25, lot 18, which is the 1007. Not sure if that matters for your vote or anything.
House number 25 is lot 18. Gotcha. That's all right.
As amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brendan, second. All those in favor of approving certificates of compliance?
Jim Foran, aye.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem.
Great.
Thank you.
So much. I do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Do you guys need any additional hard copies for your records at all?
I don't think we do. We got the PDF and we got the 11 by 17, so
Sure.
that's helpful.
All right, great. All right, thank you guys so much. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you want to leave them here, that's cool too.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you guys don't mind having it, just to toss in there, I'll leave it for you guys. If you don't want the scraps or anything, don't need to bog you guys down there.
That's fine. More records, the better. So thanks. Unless you have to bring back. So.
Yeah, let's drop in the puddle.
This is the
All right.
place kind of directly across from the flea market, right?
Yes.
I always leave room for you. Up to now.
You can put your name up there. All right, we have some mail, a letter to DEP from Glenn Wood.
More of an FYI for the commission. Yeah, that's not.
I like getting mail at Christmas. What is it?
Do you want me to?
Time to get hand cramps.
Well, you know, if someone else was here, Sam, is it? She'd already be done.
It's true.
Come on, I gotta give you a little bit of a hard time.
She has a final exam on Wednesday. I'm letting her, yeah.
Soil exam?
Soil exam, yeah. Yep.
And then she can leave.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
joking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Be
you.
at home.
Right after you pay for her education?
Half of it.
Okay.
But still,
More faith in Sam than that.
yeah.
She's really good. We love her. There's a performance review. coming up,
Sometimes,
so.
sometimes.
Mr. Chairman, I have an item not reasonably anticipated 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Like,
Sure.
so I got correspondence from the White Reservoir Watershed District Chairman that they're going to be doing their routine maintenance under their existing order of conditions. I just want to let the commission know that they received their permit from the Office of Dam Safety and that they'll be out there doing the work, just to let us know about it in case we get calls. All right, so they're not exactly sure when they're going to be starting, but when they're ready, they're going to email me and the emergency services in the town of Douglas when they're ready to get started. But historically, when they've done this maintenance, they've informed our past conservation agent, Steve Zesk, and he's informed the commission. So they're operating under an existing order for maintenance for the White Reservoir Dam.
Great. I like it. Definitely don't want anything to happen to the dam.
Damn well not.
Okay, anything else? We had the meeting minutes. Do you want to go back to, or take those next?
I did get another set reviewed. The September 23rd minutes. An amendment on page 3. Last paragraph, it's that same name, Christine Hobbs. Should be Hobbs. Page 4, the first word, the gentleman's last name is Lecuyer, Lecuyer. And that's all I had for the minutes for September 23rd.
Make a motion to approve with the amendments for the minutes for September 23rd, 2024.
A second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the September 23rd meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Jim Foreign,
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye. All right, we'll leave it at that.
Still 3 more sets to do at our next meeting.
We can do that. We'll sign it.
Did we
Have anyone-
finalize our meeting plans for next year?
we did.
Yeah.
I believe there is one other thing for us to talk about, which was,
Yeah, there was an adjustment that needed to be made because
yes,
of...
to add in one more date for,
Yes, and what was that?
it came in an email, hold on, I can
Yeah,
go back.
that's why I asked. There was a
Yeah,
bunch of
good-
emails.
Good catch, yes.
Please hold.
This came from Jim, right?
Yep. Dead.
Yeah. we're meeting on Patriots' Day and
Yeah,
Town Meeting Day,
yeah.
which, Patriots' Day, I didn't think that was,
In Massachusetts? Yeah, it's
oh, I know, Marathon Monday.
Marathon Monday. It's like April 14th, something like that, right in the middle of April.
Oh, right here. Good morning. After reviewing the meeting schedules with the town clerk, we have found that 2 holidays, let's see, was April 21st for the Patriots' Day and May 5th is the town meeting.
Right, so we have one scheduled on the 21st. If you move it in either direction, you're going to have 2 meetings in a row, like one week after the other. So you can either go 2 weeks in a row between the 17th, April 7th and 14th, or between April 28th and May 5, or just do one meeting that month. Your call.
Currently, we have one meeting in January and one meeting in February.
Right. And one meeting in July and one meeting in August.
What would you like to do, Mr. Chair?
So it's April and May that we have the issues, right?
What was the other date?
It was the April 21st and the May 5th.
And
So
May-
why don't we
oh.
have a meeting between those 2 dates
Well, if you
to
don't,
suffice?
well, you could do one on the 28th,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for April 28th,
Yeah, instead of meeting on the 21st of April
'Cause
and
it's
May
Patriots
5th,
Day.
like we're scheduled to, we'll just do a meeting on April 28th. So we'll end up with 2 meetings in April, but they're separated by 3 weeks.
okay. I'm okay with that. Anyone else?
I'm good with that.
All right, so we'll amend them. That to void out April 21st, May 5th, and have a meeting April 28th.
April. How the hell did we get down to April?
And then a new schedule can be printed up for us.
So do we have to vote on that?
Yeah.
All right, that's a motion?
Yes,
Is there a
sir.
second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Jim Farr and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Rick Ricco, aye.
Shia Birch, aye.
Mark Mongemai. Until we revise the next one.
Till next meeting.
Can she send us can someone send us a new updated email with that?
Yep. I have an item,
Oh, sorry.
unanticipated. I do.
Great. What is it?
It's up on the screen.
What is that?
This is specifically.
Oh, it's money.
Hey,
Come on.
So this is the runaway scene where they threw the
Or the cat.
Cow
cow over the,
and other,
correct.
Really moves, right?
And this is approximately
You've been there.
50 years later.
Oh,
No.
In the same exact location. I want you to notice, I stood in as close to the spot where they did the filming. If you look at
My God.
with, I got almost exactly that
my
same spot.
Goodness.
And I had the crew that I was with go up there and get as close to what they were doing.
That's awesome.
So I think I did a
that's dedication.
pretty good job there.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, so that's my son in the front there. That's Cole. And there we go. And, yeah.
there's no one up on the top, though.
No one on- there's nobody going-
You.
Everybody going, yeah. So I just wanted to
It's
point,
amazing.
want to point that out. And I have one, this picture
Jim.
is behind the castle. This is from behind the castle.
Oh, it's
So particular.
beautiful.
So many.
The huge tracts of land.
The huge tracts of land. Yeah,
It's so great.
There you go.
that's called
Sorry about
Ardoch
that.
Burn. They call streams and rivers
Beautiful.
burns.
And where was that?
That was in, what's the name of the little village there? Ugh. Watchdale? Just kidding.
Linwood. Come
There's
on.
a castle in Rochester, that's why I said.
You know what's funny is my dad just came
Is it in
over
England or Scotland?
last weekend and brought the Spamalot playbill from when we went to go see that
Oh, that was
a long
great.
time ago. What timing?
You've earned my respect tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, right?
Thank you very much.
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
All right, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded twice.
Oh, wait till we get this signed, though. Don't leave too.
All those in favor?
Jim Four and I.
Brendan Doyle, aye.
Josiah Birch, aye.
Mark Mungemine.